Hey there, Georgie here with Ukraine Matters. We are most definitely starting 2026 with a bang and not with a whimper. Kirilo Budanov, the man, the legend, the fear of Russia incarnate himself. Hey, future Georgie here. As I was editing the video, there was even more changes announced in Ukrainian government, which are fantastic, and we're going to talk about them already in the next video. Has now been dismissed as the chief of Ukrainian intelligence. He has been dismissed for a very good reason, because he is the new head of the president's office of Ukraine. It's an important position to no end. He is basically replacing Andriy Yermak on this position. Firstly, let's understand what is the president's office and why it is important. A president's office in general supposed to be a supportive government body that is there to support activities of the president of Ukraine. However, in the wartime, it became a lot more important. To speed up a lot of decisions, a lot of this temporary power have been concentrated in the hands of President Zelensky, just to make sure that the country is able to adapt at whatever Russia is throwing at them, despite the challenges in the democratic system. This caused a sort of a morphing of the office of the president to become one of the most important political centers inside and outside of the country. Head of the office of the president, as in the face of Andriy Yermak, was in charge of a lot of foreign policy. It was in charge of a lot of internal policy, communication with the parliament, and making sure that President Zelensky is able to put his agenda on the table and move it forward. This led to a lot of the issues that you might have heard of with the corruption of Andriy Yermak, and it still has a lot of questions what was done and what wasn't done. But what we could definitely say about the position is that it was basically a number 2 position in the country, sort of a shadow president position. So the fact that it's going to be Kirilo Budanov that's going to be in charge of this position is definitely turning some heads. Kirilo Budanov is a man that, to be honest, doesn't really require me talking about him. We all saw how Ukrainian intelligence just completely dominated anything that Russians were throwing at them. No major assassinations were really concluded on the territory of Ukraine. Fight against the Russian infiltration has been extremely successful, to the extent that only the lower level agents of Russians were able to perform their operations and tasks. So something like getting Ukrainians that are disloyal to Ukraine or just greedy to take the money from Russians and, make makeshift bombs and conduct operations in that way, but were also been able at the same time to go through the highest levels of Ukrainian command and political area and just weed out a lot of the Russian agents was no small task indeed. And Kirilo Budanov already stated his first words. This man has impeccable record, and he's most definitely not a friend to Russia in any ways. This is a huge bonus politically to President Zelensky, and I think this will remove a lot of questions from the Ukrainian society towards the head of the office of president of Ukraine, because Kirilo Budanov has a lot of this positive clout around him. I'll quote a couple of things that he said in his acceptance speech, so to say. I accepted the proposal of the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, to head the office of the president. I will continue to serve Ukraine. The position of the head of the office of president of Ukraine is another line of responsibility before the state. It is both an honor and profound commitment, especially at the decisive moment in our country's history, to focus on issues critical to Ukraine's strategic security. I am grateful for the trust. We will continue to do what must be done to strike the enemy, defend Ukraine, and work tirelessly towards a just peace. Together, we will continue to fight for a free and secure future for Ukraine. This is fantastic news, and Budanov has shown himself to be a great leader and especially a good commander. So I think at the current time in Ukrainian history, his appointment as the head of political body is definitely something that will bring that military efficiency to the state, and hopefully we'll see answer to some of the painful questions, specifically like the reform of the military, especially because I told you that it was Kirilo Budanov who came out to media stating that Ukraine did fail in their mobilization campaign, who did say that there is critical lack of Ukrainian strength and approach to society and the world stage. So I am having big hopes of Kirilo Budanov now that he has the reins of power available to him. And some of his latest work was really prevalent, especially the story of the killed Russian volunteer corps fighter, the Denis Kapustin, who is the leader of the Russian volunteer corps organization, an organization I would never in my life have anything close together. They are absolutely not sharing my values. But as you know, in this war with Russia, I separate Russians only by two categories. No, not good Russians, bad Russians, because I think that separation is pretty useless. I separate them in useful and useless. So Denis Kapustin is definitely falling in the category of useful Russians, because no matter his outlook, he is fighting against the regime that is committing war crimes right now, and he's doing it with a gun in hand, and this is very respected. So the fact of the matter that he has been announced dead just recently, it was a big surprise, yet I didn't report it on it because, to be honest, I got a bit of hint sent my way stating there's a bit more things to the story, but no details. I don't have access to any secret information. However, now it became absolutely clear what actually happened, because turns out he is alive and well, and there was a big target put on his head by the Russian Secret Service, and they were planning to execute an operation of assassination of Denis Kapustin, as he's a big, I would say, the opposition leader against the Russian current state. And what Ukrainian HUR with the head of Kirilo Budanov did is they basically played the Russian secret operations. They've stated that they will execute Denis Kapustin. They made this nice video where they recorded supposedly the strike against Denis done by the drones, as you can see here. And this was all sent to Russians as a proof of a concept. As you can see, there was supposedly one FPV drone that struck Denis, and then we see a fire of the vehicle as coming with a second drone to confirm it. In truth, it was all set up, and it was Ukrainians that later got the payout from the Russian organizations of around $500,000 US, which is a sizable amount, and it's nice to see that Kirilo Budanov is the winner once again. In the meantime, just to show that we are starting this year strong, Ukrainians targeting some of the latest Russian tech. The S-350 radar and Tor and Buk launchers have been struck. The S-350 radar is specifically very interesting. This is the new development by Russians to replace some of the older Soviet tech that is there to replace some of the Buk radars. This is a powerful tech, especially in a drone-dense environment. It can track up to 40 air vehicles, a pretty nice catch, and obviously multi-million ones. Beyond that, we also are starting this year with Ukraine striking a Russian oil refinery in Samara. So anyone that is keeping track of bingo, start this year with the Samara. And overall, we have great news to report that while I was critiquing Europeans by the second half of 2025, by the end of the year, we actually pulled our weight. We actually committed to support Ukraine, and 2025 became the year of the most commitment to Ukraine ever. So European states not only matched whatever US was providing, but they also delivered more than that. So Ukraine is being supported fully in 2025. and the new commitments of over $100 million, $100 billion with the European support loan, then this will allow Ukraine to fight very nicely in the coming years ahead. This is absolutely amazing news, and it's definitely a biggest blow to Russia and the thing that will bring peace much closer. And while the European states are doing their best to support Ukraine, it is also important to support Ukraine from our side, because nothing is ending, war is continuing. The fundraiser for drone is going very strong. Guys, 120, almost 25,000 euros we already did. This is more than a quarter. Participate in fundraiser. Let's start this year strong. Guys, I can always trust on you, and I can always trust in Ukrainian armed forces. And to finish today's episode, I know it's a bit light, but there is a good reason for this. I am right now running through a bit of a technical challenges round here. The thing is, like, with the new year, I've shifted from being a Microsoft user to now switching to Linux Ubuntu. This comes with a lot of challenges, technical challenges specifically. I have insane amounts of plans for how many videos and what kind of videos I want to do in January and generally in this year. So a lot of them are coming your way. I have the scripts written. It's just I was trying to set up the technology behind it. So if this video is going to be recorded fine, then know that more videos are coming your way. We're going to dedicate this year to increase and support Ukraine as much as we can, because the victory can be achieved for a fact. I love you. Slava Ukraini. Trust in Ukrainian armed forces, and I will see you next time.